Liberty. Today marks 3 years anniversary of Freedom for Nova Scotia for having rallies. This group has been trying to bring awareness to our community of what is happening in our country with our government wanting to make our once and could still be great country into a post-nation state. And his love of China's dictatorship is showing more and more on a daily basis who he truly is. His government is not for Canadians. They appear to be for themselves and all other unelected leaders of NGOs like the WHO, the UN, WEF, the globalists, and their plan to ruin our country, as well as all the other 193 United Nations around the world. On November 11th, with a view to ensuring a trusted and secure digital identity for all Europeans, the Council Presidency and European Parliament representatives of the European Union reached a provisional agreement on a new framework for European Digital ID, the EID. According to Nadia Calvino, the acting Spanish First Vice President and Minister for Economy and Digitalization, with the approval of the European Digital Identity Regulations, they are taking the fundamental steps so that citizens can have a unique and secure European digital ID. This is key advance for the European Union to be a global reference in the digital field, protecting our democratic rights and values. Under the new law, member states will offer citizens and businesses digital wallets that will be able to link their national digital identities with proof of other personal attributes, like driver's license, diplomas, bank accounts, etc. Citizens will be able to prove their identity and share electronic documents from their digital wallets with a click of a button on their mobile phone. I don't know how they can even state that they would be protecting democratic rights and values with this digital ID and digital wallet. Once this is in place, your privacy is gone and your freedom is gone. They will have all the control. Currently in Europe, a person cannot spend more than 1,000 euros in cash per day. For any higher purchases, they have to use a card. All for the greater good, right? They just need that control. That was in Europe. Meanwhile, in Canada, our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced the launching of a digital partnership with the European Union to promote the interoperable use of digital credentials, to counter disinformation, and to cooperate on artificial intelligence. A statement from the Prime Minister's office says the partnership is about harnessing the power of the digital space while protecting citizens. Imagine. The different areas of potential cooperation noted included knowledge mobilization, digital media, and science literacy, building trust in government communications and institutions. Yeah, that's a joke. Programmatic approaches and exchanges between researchers and academics of the two jurisdictions. A panel of experts hired by the government to provide input on the future legislation has expressed a desire to address legal yet harmful online contact. They also identified disinformation as one of the most pressing and harmful forms of malicious behavior online, while at the same time cautioning that the government should not be deciding what is true or false. Details about the partnership was released November 24th after Trudeau met with the European Union Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Union Council President Charles Michel in St. John's, Newfoundland for a leader summit. Details released by Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada indicated the digital partnership establishes a framework for voluntary cooperation and does not create legal obligations. Not yet, right? Justin Trudeau appears to be making a whole lot of decisions on behalf of Canadians that Canadians do not want, like the carbon tax scam. Just to think of one, giving carbon tax breaks to those using home heating oil was just one huge slap in the faces of all Canadians who use alternative home heating sources like, let's say, electric heat or natural gas, for example. This Prime Minister has and continues to divide our country severely. Just remember this, Justin Trudeau has told his closest advisors he would not be true to himself if he quit as Liberal leader and Prime Minister. It's all about him, and nothing of the sort should come as a surprise to clear-thinking Canadians. So what exactly does he mean when he says he has to remain true to himself? Based on 8 years of consistent observation, Trudeau is an ideologue, and according to the dictionary, he is an often blindly partisan advocate or adherent of a particular ideology or an impractical idealist, which is really an anti-theorist. Essentially, Justin Trudeau is lacking the tangible skills necessary for competent national leadership. Our Prime Minister has carved out an agenda that is steeped in global politics, environmental propaganda, and woke liberalism. Canada's Prime Minister would remain true to himself if he never deviated from his ideological orientation. This includes near pathological hostility toward the founding of our country and its colonial roots. In terms of social issues, no national leader has made more violent, bitter, or severe on community division like Justin Trudeau. According to Trudeau, traditional old stock Canadians are racist, xenophobic, homophobic, and genocidal. They, Canadians, have no values and need to be governed. Sorry, guys. Patriots stand witness as his partner in misery, Jasmeet Singh, is the only reason Trudeau remains on his political perch. When it comes to Justin Trudeau, fact is, he has never given a damn about democracy, and his current attitude speaks to the truth of the matter. As he claimed in 2016, he views Canada as a postmodern society. This society is in reality a march towards an erasure of personal freedoms, freedom of speech, as well as democracy itself. It's being held back from the conscience of the society by the bought and paid for mainstream and or legacy media. With all of his mantras, like diversity is our strength, in actuality, only 24% of Canadians believe that diversity is a well-defined strength. 67% Canadians believe the Liberals' immigration quotas are too high. The Liberals have increased immigration quotas to their highest level in history, yet they fail to provide the housing for those immigrants. According to the Prime Minister of Canada's own website, on June 30th of 2021, he announced the creation of 4,500 new affordable housing units across the country with an additional investment of $1.5 billion through the Rapid Housing Initiative. The housing units will support Canadians who are in uncertain housing situations, experiencing or at risk of homelessness, or living in temporary shelters because of the pandemic. Canada's national housing strategy is ambitious. 10-year plan that will invest over $72 billion to give more Canadians a place to call home. Launched in 2017, the National Housing Strategy will build and repair thousands of housing units and help households with affordable support. On that same website, January 21st of 2022, the PM announced that over 10,000 new affordable housing units will be created across the country through the Rapid Housing Initiative. The Government of Canada's $2.5 billion rapid housing initiative is helping vulnerable individuals, families find a safe and affordable place to call home. Canada's national housing strategy is ambitious. 10-year plan to invest over $72 billion to give Canadians a place to call home, launched in 2017. It will create, you see the wording here? I'm not saying they created them. It will create up to 60,000 new homes, meet the housing needs of 530,000 families, and repair or renew more than 300,000 housing units. And again, in August of 2022, PM announced that a major investment of over $2 billion to support 3 key initiatives that together will again help create, not create, but help create nearly 17,000 homes for families across the country, including thousands of affordable housing units. Canada's national housing strategy is an ambitious 10-year plan to invest over $72 billion to give Canadians a place to call home. Since its launch in 2017, the government has committed over $26.5 billion to support the creation, not that they created them, right, of over 106,000 units and the repair of over 254,000 units. How many in actuality? Today in Canada, we've never seen so much homeless encampments across our country. In the first week of November of 2023, the PM announced the Liberal pledge to develop housing units on federal lands, something they already promised in 2015 and did not deliver. The housing plan comes as Liberals face a significant dip in the polls. The announcement puts the government on track to develop about 29,200 housing units on federal lands by 2029. Now, according to Pierre Poilievre, Trudeau's promise of 8 years ago to sell off government buildings for housing has only produced 13 homes since 2015. Can you imagine? The Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation estimates that the number of units being built falls short of the 3.5 million homes estimated to be needed in Canada by 2030 to restore affordability effectively. With the high inflation and mortgage rates through the roof, not many can afford to buy a home in today's market under Justin Trudeau and his Liberal NDP government. According to the State of Homelessness report from 2016 by Homelessness Statistics for Canada, it is estimated that around 1.3 million Canadians have experienced insecure housing or homelessness. There is rarely just one reason behind becoming homeless, but the root cause is often poverty, lack of employment, lack of affordable homes, among other things, like Justin Trudeau and his policies. That is all we keep hearing is money for this and that, to build this and that. Yet we are seeing an ever-increasing rate of poverty, a housing crisis, and homelessness, and tent cities popping up everywhere in every province in Canada. According to the Affordable Housing Association of Nova Scotia, as of September of 2022, 690 people are experiencing homelessness in the Halifax region. That's more than double the number from the previous year. Pensions and minimum wage aren't keeping up with the inflation, and with rising rents, fixed-term leases, it is contributing to the increase of the homelessness. A new report into homelessness released on August 5th of 2022, Eastern Nova Scotia shows that Cape Breton Regional Municipality shows a little change when it comes to the homeless population in CBRM. 419 people were experiencing some form of homelessness at the end of November of 2021. We are at the tipping point in terms of 10 cities here in CBRM. It is that desperate out there, said Erica Shea, President and CEO of New Dawn Enterprises. That was in June of 2022. According to the Alley Center here in Sydney, in October of 2023, about 150 people who use their organization services don't have a roof over their head, doubled compared to last year. These These are merely a couple of the reasons that Trudeau must go. 75% of Canadians polled want him gone, but Trudeau says no way. We have the opportunity for a non-confidence vote with the petition that was started November 29th. The petition named E4701 under democratic process. The petition of the House of Commons that reads as follows: whereas we, the citizens of Canada, have lost confidence in Justin Trudeau and the NDP, Liberal NDP coalition, we call on the House for a vote of non-confidence. We ask for an election 45 days after the vote if won. The current government elected is not acting in the best interests of all citizens. The policies of this government aren't aligning with the crisis Canada is facing: housing costs, infringement on civil liberties, highest inflation in history, unbalanced immigration policies, taxation to the point of poverty, weakening of our economy by importing natural resources that Canada already has and underutilizes, and based on the past 8 years of this Prime Minister, Canadians do not have confidence in this Prime Minister. After 5 ethics investigations and Canada's reputation being tarnished on a global scale under this leadership, to the extent that Canada is being discluded from participation in statements regarding important geopolitical events. We, the undersigned citizens and residents of Canada, call upon the House of Commons to call for a vote of no confidence and a federal election 45 days following that vote. This petition was open for signatures November 24th and is closed for signatures December 24th. So, sign. Right now, as of yesterday, 151,283 people signed this petition. Nova Scotia only signed 4,415 signed. So let's get those totals higher. We urge everyone to sign this petition, E4701, under democratic process. That said, there's an urgent call to action to block the pandemic treaty now by Ms. Leslie E. Norton, Ambassador Extraordinaire and Plenipotentiary Permanent Representative. On November 21st, she stated that they are looking to become the global health authority before the next pandemic strikes, and it's up to us to stop them. Ms. Norton says, this isn't about health, it's about who holds the reins of power in times of crisis. The upcoming intergovernmental negotiating body meeting set to take place this coming December 4th to 6th will uncover whether there is sufficient global consensus to ratify the pandemic accord across member states. Imagine a world where health policy is centrally dictated and your health decisions are made by an unelected body with sweeping powers. That's why Ms. Norton is urging everyone to sign her online petition ahead of December 4th to 6th, negotiations of the intergovernmental negotiating body, which is urging delegates to reject the amendments that are being proposed to centralize global health management. You can find that petition online on Facebook. It's called Urgent Call to Action to Block the Pandemic Treaty Now. One good sign, the Estonian Parliament members sent a letter to the WHO director rejecting pandemic treaty. On November 22nd, the letter sent to WHO Director General Tedros stated that Estonia rejects and does not give its consent to the proposal for additional amendments to the international agreement on pandemic preparedness and response and the international health regulations of 2005. It further stated, hereby the Republic of Estonia, on the basis of Article 22 of the Constitution of the World Health Organization, declares that it rejects and does not consent to the International Agreement on Pandemic Prevention, Preparedness, and Response, as well as complementary amendments to the International Health Regulations, and improving the sustainability of financing of the WHO. We need more countries to reject the WHO Pandemic Treaty and its International Health Regulation amendments. We have an opportunity to exit this unelected non-government organization by signing the current petition in the House of Commons in Parliament Assembly named E4623 under Foreign Affairs. This petition was opened October 10th and will close on February 7th of 2024. In the words of Samuel Adams, it does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting bushfires of freedom in the minds of men. So we are here, doing just that, trying to awaken those who don't appear to understand this Liberal NDP government and the damage that they have done to this country and continue to do, with Trudeau at the helm being the dictator he so loves to be. Freedom is the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. And that's a quote by George Orwell. The system is designed for them. They want us to obey their every command, their every mandate, their every freedom-denying policies, and their ever-growing government. We must continue with mass non-compliance to this tyrannical government overreach and just say no to authoritarian regime. What are you going to do? Myself, I will not comply.
I will not comply.
I will never comply.
I will never comply.
Will you comply? Hoo-ah, fellow freedom fighters. Hoo-ah. And I thank you.